Hi guys, it's Mrs. McInnes here. Today we're going to begin a new topic which is all about speed, distance and time. So to begin that topic off, we're just going to revise over a few different areas of time because we'll need those skills when we move on further through the topic. So the first thing I would like to go over with you is 12 and 24-hour time. So this work today is going to be aimed at the pink pupils. However, if you are yellow or purple, you might want a little recap of this as well just before we begin with the rest of our work. So the first thing we're going to talk about here is 12 and 24-hour time and how we convert between those two formats. So first thing to remember is that 12-hour time must have AM or PM. So if you're writing 9 o'clock in the morning, if it's in 12-hour time, it would be 9.00 and then the AM. If you're doing like 4 in the afternoon, you would have 4.00 and then a PM. It has to have an AM or a PM. If you are writing in 24-hour time, we must have 4 digits and there is not to be an AM or PM. Okay, so that's the difference between the two. So, for example, 9 AM in 12-hour time, if I write that just to the side here, you would have 9.00 AM. But in 24-hour time, we need 4 numbers. So you would have to add a 0 to the beginning of that. So 0900, and that would be in 24-hour time. So you have here your clock face and you can see if you start at 12. So if we think of that as a starting point, obviously if you go round from 12, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. When you get back round to 12 lunchtime, you would then go into the red numbers on the inside and it would be 13 in 24-hour clock for 1 o'clock, 1400 would be 2 o'clock, and you go round the inside round to midnight, and midnight would be 00. So this is something you should already know from primary school. You might just need a little brush up on how to read in 12 and 24-hour time. Just remember that when you're changing the hours from 12-hour to 24-hour time, if it's after lunchtime, so after 12 noon, we just add 12 to the hours. So if you're going for, say, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, instead of 3, you would add 12 and it'd be 15 for your hours, and then whatever the minutes are. Okay, so that's a very quick recap of your 12 and 24-hour time. So I'm going to do a few examples of just changing times to and from each format. So the first set I have here is to change these times from to 24-hour time, So the first one is 6:30 AM. So we're going to write that in 24-hour time. So 6:30 AM is in the morning. So that's just going to stay as 06 and then 30, okay, because it's in the morning. 10:20 AM, again, that's in the morning. So the hours is going to stay as 10 and then we would just have 10:20. 4:15 PM, that's the afternoon, so we need to add 12 to the hours. So instead of it being 4, it's going to be 16 and then 15. And the same with the last one, 9:40 PM, that's in the evening. So we're going to add 12 to the hours. So 9 add 12 would make 21 for hours and then 40. Okay, so we just add 12 to the hours if it's after lunchtime, so afternoon or evening, and then your minutes stay the same. Should always be 4 digits and no AMs or PMs. The next set would be changing 24-hour time back into 12-hour time. So we would just do the reverse here. Instead of it being 4 digits, we can go back to 3 if we need it, or 4 if it has 4. And we would take away 12 from the hours if it's in the afternoon. So 0800, that's 8 in the morning, 8 AM. So we just can write 8.00 AM. So you don't need the 4 numbers now. You can just, the first 0 can be dropped and it would just be 8.00. The second one, 11:30, that's in the morning. So again, that can just stay as 11:30 and then that's obviously AM. Anything less than 12 is obviously in the morning. C, 15:20, so that would be in the afternoon. 15 obviously means we've added 12 on, so we would take away 12 from your hours. So that would make that 3:20 and then it's PM because we've taken 12 away, so obviously it had 12 added on because it was an afternoon time. And then the last one, 23:12, again that's obviously had 12 added to the hours, so we would take 12 away from the hours and that's going to give you 11:12 PM. Okay, so just a few things there to kind of remind you of how to do this, but I think this is something that most, if not all of you, should be quite confident with doing today. So if you are a yellow or purple pupil, we're going to spend today looking at calculating time intervals. So I'm going to show you a little bit of working that I find quite useful for doing these questions. Some of you will just be quite happy to kind of count on or do this in your head, or might have a different method of doing it. This working I find quite useful, and it's just using a timeline. So if you want to do it the way that I'm going to show you now, you can. If you want to do it your own way, feel free, as long as your answers are correct. So first example here, we have calculate the length of time between 8:30 a.m. and 11:25 a.m. So I'm going to start with my beginning time, which is 8:30 a.m. and I'm just going to count up to the next hour. So if it's 8:30 in the morning, the next hour would be 9 a.m. So that would be 30 minutes. I'm just going to write that underneath there, 30 minutes. Then I'm going to count up to the hour of the time I'm being asked for. So I'm going to count up to 11 a.m. So 9, 10, 11, that's 2 hours. And then I'm going to go up to my finishing time, which is 11:25. So that would be 25 minutes. And then what you can do is just add these units of time together. So 2 hours, and we've got 30 minutes plus 25 minutes, so that's 55 minutes. So if you find that useful, you can absolutely use this working that I'm showing you here. Okay, let's do another one. Example 2, we have the length of time between 2:25 p.m. and 6:40 p.m. So again, I'm going to just count up to the next hour. So 25 past 2, well, the next hour would be 3 p.m. So that's 35 minutes. And then I'm going to go up to the time, the hour of the time I'm looking for. So I'm going to go up to 6 p.m. So that's 3 hours. And then I'm going to go right up to my finishing time, which is 6:40. So 6 to 6:40 is 40 minutes. And then I'm going to add all this together. So I've got 3 hours, 35 minutes plus 40 minutes, well that's 75 minutes. Now we would never write 75 minutes, so we need to take 1 full hour out of that 75 minutes. So remember, 1 hour is 60 minutes. So if that number is bigger than 60, you need to take your full hour out. So that would actually give us an extra full hour. So that's going to be 4 hours. And then if you take 60 off 75, we're left with 15 minutes. Okay, we'll do a couple of examples now in 24-hour time, just similar again, but I've just changed the times to 24-hour time just because some of the questions will be that way today. So we're starting with 16:35, and we want the time interval between 16:35 and 19:45. So that's 4:35 p.m. and 7:45 p.m. So we would go up to the next whole hour. So if it's 16:35, your next whole hour would be 1700, 5 o'clock, so that's 25 minutes. And then we're going to go right up to the hour of the end time, so 1900, that's 7 p.m, so that's 17, 18, 19, 2 hours. And then all the way up to the finishing time, so 1945, so that's another 45 minutes. And then add these all together. So here we're going to get 2 hours, 45 and 25, well that's 70 minutes. Again, because that number there is bigger than 60, we've got a full hour there. So we would take that out and that will become 3 hours and you'd have 10 minutes left over. Okay, one last example in 24-hour time. So here we have another one, the time interval between 09:41 and 12:27. So we'll start with our starting time, 09:41, and we'll go up to the nearest hour, so that would be 10 in the morning. So that difference between those two would be 19 minutes. Then we'll go up to the hour of our finish time, so that's 12 o'clock, that'd be lunch time, so that's 2 hours. And then all the way up to our finish time, so 12:27. So that's going to give us another 27 minutes. And then all we need to do is add up our units of time. So here we have 2 hours, 19 plus the 27, that will give you 46 minutes. All right, and that's you finished. So if that kind of working is something you would find useful, you can absolutely do it that way. If you have a different way of doing it, that's totally fine, as long as you're getting your answers correct. Okay, I will post on the Teams page what work each colour of level is going to be doing today, and if you've got any questions, you can come on and ask me for help.